Reminiscences.
Reminiscences. Okay, so we're rolling on 2 cameras again. I'm going to hit start and away we go. Start, you bastard.
Hello and welcome to The Lucky Roll, an eclectic channel for eclectic games. And today we're reviewing That Old Wallpaper by AEG Games. This is a card drafting auction bidding game where players compete to remake the patterns of their old grandmother's wallpaper from a series of cards that players bid on with numbered cards. Players get points for every set of 2 patterns they recreate and bonus points for special symbols that are in the center of certain wallpaper cards known as mementos. It's a game for 2 to 5 players and has a lovely relaxed and nostalgic pace to it that is quite pleasant to play with. Players are given a set of 10 cards numbered 1 to 10. These are shuffled and the first 5 cards are then drawn into their hands. A set of wallpaper cards are then drafted into a river for players to bid on, depending of course on the amount of players. For every wallpaper pattern that has a red dot, a second wallpaper pattern card is placed in the column above it. Players then bid numerically for the card that they wish, with the cards being allocated in numerical order, with the leftmost card going to the lowest number and the rightmost card going to the highest. Players then draw a new set of wallpaper cards, but the numbers they have already bid with are left and shown to the other players, so competitors have an idea of what has already been played. Players who play the same number engage in a tiebreaker, which allocates the loser with a hazy memory card, which, although is technically a wild card that completes a pattern, it closes off the other 3 edges of the card, limiting scoring potential. As players receive wallpaper cards, they try and recreate their grandmother's wall with the most matching patterns as possible. The game runs for 3 rounds, with 6 bids a round, and is a very light, friendly game that is suitable for all ages. There are games out there that give a lovely old nostalgia vibe with their aesthetic and their theme, and this is indeed one of them. As a child of the 80s in Ireland, old patterned wallpaper was all the rage, and I remember the 2 to 3 day ordeal it was every time my father had to wallpaper a room with matching patterns and trying to maintain the consistent patterns onto awkward corners as best as possible with the remaining leftover rolls of wallpaper that he had, lest he had to go and buy another massive roll of wallpaper to go to waste. My bedroom as a child was adorned with Popeye the Sailor Man wallpaper, and this game brought back an old forgotten memory of a broken pattern in the left corner of the room where Popeye and olive oil were mashed together into an ugly, unholy, co-joined union of sailor's arms, skinny girl legs, a sailor suit and a red blouse that annoyed my father every time I pointed it out to him. The pattern was eventually hidden by a set of drawers, but the memory of it that this game brought to me is part of the charm of this type of game. Indeed, I wasn't the only player that had gentle reminiscences as a result of this game. It has a gentle tone and pace that is not overly competitive. Indeed, the patterns of the wallpaper cards are so varied that even if you don't win the card that you want, you can still end up with a scoring pattern or indeed a new potential pattern to create. The gentle pace leads to gentle conversations, and the short pace of the game makes it a wonderful warm-up or cool-down game for the end of the night, or even a little quickie game to play whilst you're waiting for a late player. We often played 2 games in a row, as the late player ended up wanting to play a quick game of this game themselves, before, of course, the main event. And it's to the credit of That Old Wallpaper that it was something that we never ever minded doing. The components are, as per standard for AEG Games, first rate, and it's a lovely, family-friendly game that I would happily recommend to anyone. A perfect little stocking filler or travel game companion that sets its tone perfectly with childhood memories of a roaring fire and some of Granny's tea and chocolate biscuits. Thoroughly, thoroughly recommended. As always, this is Sean from The Lucky Roll. If you enjoy these videos, please like, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. And until next time, good luck, God bless, stay safe, and finish your tea.